We're super excited because today we're kicking off a new series called Be the Light, where we spotlight folks bringing positivity and goodness into the world.
One of those people is Dave Isay. He is the founder of something called One Small Step. It's where people volunteer to have a kind conversation with a stranger who may not believe the same things you do, all in the hopes of bridging a divide. Take a look.
I am nervous. I am excited. I am coming into this with an open heart and an open mind.
I am very excited to see how this turns out, what we have in common, and what differences we have, and how that can still unite us.
In Wichita, Kansas, strangers Lamisha Courtney and Brandy Hibbs are about to meet for the first time. This scheduled coming together of strangers is all part of the nonprofit One Small Step, which hosts and records 50-minute conversations between people with different political views. Prior to the conversation, Misha and Brandy were given each other's bios.
I know she's a single mom, has 3 children.
She is from a family of 6, that she has children of her own, that her father was in the military.
One Small Step founder Dave Isay is on a crusade to unify our country, one conversation at a time.
You know, if we spent more time listening to each other and less time screaming at each other and hating each other, what a better and stronger country we would be.
One Small Step uses contact theory psychology under the premise that it's hard to hate up close.
Part of the secret sauce of One Small Step is that we don't talk about politics. This is just about 2 human beings looking each other in the eye and talking about what really matters to them.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
A facilitator handed them their first question.
So Brandy, tell me about 1 or 2 people in your life who have had the biggest influence on you.
A place they found common ground.
I have to say my parents, hands down. They had me when they were super young, and we're not prepared to be parents.
I would say the exact same. My parents were and still are some of the most important people to me. So when you were talking about your parents, I was like, oh gosh, that's me too.
They soon discovered differences on some hot button issues.
I'm definitely more on the conservative side. I am very pro-life. My faith as being a Christian, definitely something that has molded me to who I am, but also shaped my beliefs.
Certain segments of population say pro-life, but don't want to have gun laws in place that stop the lives of innocent children in schools being killed.
Personally, you know, being an open carrier myself, I prefer that. I'd rather see it and know who's got it, but I still think there should be training that's involved in the handling of the weapons and the safety of the weapons and things like that.
Misha shared her biggest fears as a mother.
People talk about Black Lives Matter and, oh, we don't like them because they start. No, what we're trying to say is that we want our lives to matter just as much as anybody else's lives. I don't want to have to worry about my children walking the street in my neighborhood and never coming home. I worry when they go to the snow cone stand with their friends that don't look like them. And I just wish we lived in a world where I didn't have to worry about that.
I wish I had the words to respond, because honestly, it's something that, you know, I've thought about, but I don't understand it. If there's something I can do to increase my knowledge and learn more about your perspective, then I'm all for it.
In the end, they found some common ground.
Your desire to want to know more, or saying, what can I do? That's the first step.
Sure.
Just, okay, being willing to, okay, I don't understand. How can I understand? Or who can I talk to? What can I learn?
And even a new friendship.
I've found a friend with Misha, and I'd love to be able to keep in touch.
So I didn't come looking for a friend, but I think I found one.
Every interview ends the same way. It almost belies belief. You know, it decreases fear of the other, and it allows us to see the human being and the American sitting across from us.
Okay, that was beautiful. And just the concept of it's hard to hate up close.
Yes.
Just that simple phrase. One Small Step has conducted more than 1,300 interviews. They have a wait list of more than 6,000 people. If you'd like to learn more, you can head to hodaandjenna.com.
I also think that says everything.
Yes.
People want
it.
to have the conversation.
Yes.
Oh,
that was beautiful.
So beautiful. And we'll be back after this.